just a survey, in a laser survey, and you can actually produce a three-dimensional model of the whole building, including furniture, so you can monitor what's going on in that building. And a lot of our clients have got 40,000 pieces of furniture with the system digitally posted. You know where it's going, where it's put, and you can move things about rather than have to buy new furniture and put the stuff in storage. You haven't got a clue what's going on. And again, that puts back into digitally into the ONF files and Kobe data drops. And again, one of the studies we're actually doing is linking the BIM model with that data. The states are moving up way ahead on this, but they still haven't got it solved. We're doing a study in a month. We'll be publishing a study that we've done ourselves on that basis. In augmented reality is already here. Again, on King's Cross, only needs to be linked with the GPS system, but so you can link the model and walk around the building that's been built, link the BIM model. You can click on any element and actually bring down elements. So a light fitting, you can tell the light fitting it needs replacing. The idea is it brings down what it is. You can then highlight it needs replacing, and then you order that fitting, you order the resource to do it, put it in the calendar, and that's all digitally on site. So it's a system we're looking at, and tagging on a wider sense of the building, much like you do with food. You can actually then tag elements of the building, and then you can actually just read the data off that. That's here already, and some of our supply chain is doing that. Moving forward, shapes of things to come. Google Glass, you may have heard of this. They have launched this. It's coming out in public in the summer. And it's basically taking the tablet one step further. Wear glasses, it's got a camera. It has a bit on screen, a bit like a fighter jet. You see the information comes up in front of you. And actually you can talk, and it feeds back information back. So you just walk around with these. I won't go on to the video because we can do if we've got more time later on, but it's a video of how those work, and they've done a 2-minute video of just walking around and how that can be used. So just coming back on the milestone certainty, build it twice, talked about build model, you work it through virtually on the computer, look at clashes, and then build the elements, and you can build it the first time without too many RFIs coming out there for changes and uncertainty. Look at how to build, the best way to build, 4D is what it's called within BIM. And we understand what's really important to our clients. Our clients are not worried about building, they're actually worried what's in there in their business, so that it's understanding what's key to that. And again, de-risking that, we're using on a number of our sites tablets to actually get our guys out on the site, with the BIM model, picking up elements, snagging, feeding back to the consultant team. Actually, this is what's required. They can pull up the BIM model, extract that, take a photograph, email it off to the person, call them at the same time while they're out on site, and actually deal with that. And I think a number of you companies here are actually doing similar things as we speak. Linking 4D, the sequencing model, to cash flow. A lot of our clients saying, well, why can't we do that? Well, it seems obvious that actually a lot of clients want to know what is their cash flow, when is it happening, where is it happening. Well, that is, not many people are doing that. We're always saying we can, and it's easy to do, and that's what we're starting now. 6 benefit cost certainty. Traditional way of looking things are QS friends. I don't think there's any here, hopefully not. You just don't know what's happening with the cost. It's always after the effect, and then there's reworking because it doesn't match the temp price or whatever. What we're saying is with the BIM model, you can actually pull off as you go through, all the way through, because it's all integrated, embedded in that information as you go through that. Stepping back slightly, the Wright brothers, looking to the aircraft industry. The label of the First World War is automated prefabrication of models, planes, to the aircraft industry. They were actually testing their aircraft, you can see, just about to see the wings being tested for flexing. They don't need to do that, they do it all on computer now because they understand the computer is just as accurate as testing this, and they don't need the cost of that. So they're miles ahead of us, and obviously the components come from all around the world and brought together. Car industry talked about in the 1960s, the Mini went on a production line, and today the Mini is produced automated, as we know, with elements from that, very little human input into that process. But the key thing here is that all those elements, and as we know with our own cars, they've got embedded information in that, and you can pull up on the computer screen what element, what you need, what part. And therefore, we need to look at the building industry more like the manufacturing industry and how that can be done. So, looking at the construction industry, here we are 1908, 1960, and here we are today. The only difference in building today is the guy on the left in 1908 is not wearing a hard hat, he's smoking. Doesn't seem to move far ahead. Look at the houses that were built. Well, actually, 1908 at the top. Look at the bottom. Well, actually, they're trying to mimic 1908. So it's we need to move forward. So we look at how we do modular building, and then more in terms of BIM. The library of components. We've found we produce a massive library over sort of the last sort of 20 odd years. And each element there is embedded information, specifications, so you can put that in a feasibility study. It's got the specifications, it's got the costs associated with that. It's got the ironmongery door, ironmongery schedules involved in that. So that safeguards, that brings up the 80% of, the comment from the government made earlier. We repeat 80% of the work we do. That's not stopping us being creative, but actually, why are you reinventing these things when you can just produce a library of these? And that produces a supply chain linking that. So real-time cost data, what we can do now is actually, as you design, it brings up a cost in an ideal world. We haven't got the whole supply chain up and going, but ultimately, it will give a cost. As you do something, the cost comes up. You bring in an element in the school, say, that costs that. Actually, what we can say is take that one step further, and why not do compare supplychain.com? It's an obvious thing to do if we all share that information, and we need the pressure onto the supply chain to actually produce BIM models and libraries, and actually then we can understand very quickly what the best element is to use. The design teams can incorporate that on day one. And that's embedded in the architecture, structural, and M&E model. And I see this is at King's Cross, the B2 building that's going up on site at the moment. It's embedded, all that information is embedded with that information to the M&E, just the M&E on its own. And again, machinery's got tagged, so you know exactly what the machine's doing, where it's being, whatever, and that will identify it. Especially our infrastructure guys on roads, they know which machine's been used, and therefore costing literal payments to be made more accurate. So it's transparent and inclusive. Just on these arena, and I think these are conservative, but they were saying the clash detection was found on the model that saved on site, saved at least $500,000. I think that's more than that. And obviously, you can read the rest. There's cost savings throughout the project, and that feeds down through. That information can be fed back into, if we pull all the designs, all the projects we do, can be fed back into the industry, and actually we can reduce tender prices. We can increase margins, but we can actually put a reward system for the whole team. And that obviously is the heart. Almost there. Sustainable solutions. More concerning is in 2010, 2011, haven't got the 2012 figures, 50 people were killed on the UK construction sites. Manufacturing, 27 in the same time, half the number. What we're saying is the BIM model should be used in the health and safety of our sites and how we do things, and especially it can be then fed through into the occupation of building. And this is something that the mission room was used at King's Cross the other day, and as you get 4 or 5 people in that room, 360 BIM model, you'll be in the BIM model, use the sequencing, and you can show the workers on site what's going to be built that day, whether the beams coming across elements, and actually then you can be prepared for what's going on. You can go to the next element, put tagging around the site, and they can use their iPhone or whatever to actually pick up on what the safety issues. Obviously, Google Glass, even further, it can warn you when you're coming somewhere there's potentially hazardous area. So it should be able to be used. The Google Hangouts, we've taken the WebEx one step further. We're doing Google Hangouts. We're not wearing sandals and shorts, but this is basically a system where you can actually just invite whoever you want, wherever you want, and actually a much more easy system. And again, you just need a Google Gmail address, and anyone can do this on your team. We're producing this on our teams as we speak. Energy efficiency and maximising margins on that. We're introducing through with Autodesk, we're piloting a lot of the energy models that are not out in the market at the moment. That's part of the advantage we get. We're actually looking at and comparing options on day one at a very early stage. And that will give us the energy efficiency of the building in occupation, but also give the cost of that on each option. So there's a number of things we can start bringing that. And it's on YouTube, but we're introducing Project Dasher, which is an Autodesk product, sensors in chairs, environment on the surfaces, to actually monitor how the building is being used in use. So basically, what we all know is we build a building, we say the energy efficiency is going to be this and how the building's to be run. Ultimately, the building could be £25,000, £50,000 more, and then ultimately it could be we get charged for that because they say you haven't designed the building properly, you've made a mistake. This system can monitor on a day-by-day basis, link it back to the building management system. You can monitor it remotely and actually understand how that building is being used. Ultimately, no building is used exactly how it's meant to be, but you can actually feedback how to maximise the efficiency, adjust things, and talk back to the client and actually have an engagement and a relationship. And I think this is one of the key things that BIM, what we want to do more is have relationships with our clients much longer than we're doing. And there's a commercial advantage with that. So next steps, this is one of Paul Morell's slides. It's not his exact slide, but I've found similar images. It's a big world out there, and basically what he's suggesting is we've got to take small steps first of all, and then the route will become much more, we'll know exactly where we're going on that route. There are dangers on the way, almost mishaps, but it's worth taking. Basically, you can be a small fish in a big pond, or is it a big fish in a small pond? I'm not sure what the term is. But basically, there's opportunity out there. All it says, ban TLC, it's looking at transparency, looking at lead collaboration along the way. I can't avoid missing out cyclists. So with Team Sky, the success they've had, they talk about the aggregation of marginal gains. 1% on every element you do, not 10% on one element. It's looking at how we do things. It's not a shot in the arm, as Lance Armstrong may say. It's about to improve performance and improving margins. One step in the right direction. This could be you, if you really want. Just got to listen and act. I think the same as the Autodesk conference a couple of months ago. Somebody said, go BIM or go home. And I think that's basically it. If you don't go BIM, you won't